Maybe it was on, I was looking right place. Yeah, thank you.
Got mine on. What's that? I don't understand why that's not on the table. Come on, how hard is that? I swear, man, I have to.
All right, it is 6:30. It's time to start the board meeting. It is August 15th, 2022. And let's start by saying the Pledge of the Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't think there's any media present this evening. Is that right, Teresa? Okay. We have a special presentation by Shauna Balsinger in the Center for Whitley County Youth.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for allowing us to be here tonight. My name is Shauna Balsinger. This is Jada Gregory, she's our intern this year. And this is Sarah, she is our assistant program director this year, and I'm the Whitko program director. I'm just going to give you a little overview of last year. So last year was the first year that we went 4 days of the week for programming, and we were so excited with how it turned out. We had originally been doing 2 days a week, and it was great. The students really loved it, but they loved 4 days a week so much. Our attendance was really high. They were always really excited to be there. We were really excited to have them there. So thank you guys so much for letting us have this program here at Whitko. It is just a huge blessing to us and a huge resource for our students. So thank you so much for that. Overall, we had around 70 students come through our doors, which was way higher than we expected. Every night we had around 15 to 20 students. Some nights we would run even higher. One night we had 30 students, so that was really, really exciting. We also have SERVE students. So SERVE program is for high school students. It's a leadership/job-based program, and our SERVE students totally rocked it out of the park last year. We had 10 SERVE students, and that is by application only, so they get a chance to do an application. They have to have references. It's essentially like applying for a job, and that was awesome. We have even more students this year. We have 12, and they're very, very excited for it. We just had our first training on Saturday, and it was probably one of our favorite trainings that we've ever had. So we're really excited about that. Over the summer, we also had a really heavy attendance. 2 summers ago, our attendance ranged from around 3 to 10 students. 10 was very rare. This last year, we had over 20 students attend multiple events, so that was really awesome. Some things that we did, we went to Cedar Point. We went kayaking at Chino Lakes, which was a very fun experience. We went to Lake Michigan, and that one we were really excited about because students had to have all C's and above in order to attend that trip. And during homework time, they were very adamant with one another to get C's and above in order to come. So we thought that was a really helpful incentive. We also went to the zoo. We went on multiple walks. We did a walk every week. We had dinner parties. It was just a really, really fun summer. So that's a little bit about an overview. Overall, it was just really, really great.
Thank you. And then we also we started to get some sixth graders last year, but we are really trying to focus on getting more sixth grade engagement because most of our students are eighth graders, so we just want to build up our younger population so that we can continue having a healthy program. So Jada is going to share some student testimony now.
So my name's Jada Gregory. I'm a senior at Whitko this year, and I've been with the center for about 3 years now, mainly as a student, but this year I'm on staff as an intern, which is just super exciting because the center has never had a student intern before, and so I'm just like so honored to be able to forge this new path with an amazing staff and some pretty awesome students. So we get a wide variety of students at the center, but a lot of them come carrying like some pretty heavy emotional pasts and just a lot of trauma in general, but I've witnessed the center come alongside each of them and just meet them where they're at, and that's really what it's done for me. It's been such a blessing, and I've just gotten so many opportunities that I never would have imagined prior to joining the center. Yeah, it's just been like so amazing. I could go on and on about this organization, but our students truly rely on it, just as I relied on it when I was a student, and relies on its staff and its facilities. And we're just so encouraged to be able to provide them the love and support that they need through the hardships of middle school, and to offer leadership opportunities for our high school students as well, to be leaders in their community and to step up and to set an example. And so, yeah, that's how the center has just impacted me and how I hope that it impacts everyone around us.
We have one more slide, and the slide actually has some quotes that students gave from last year. At the end of the year, we do a little survey just to see different things that we're doing well, things that we can improve on, and these were some of the quotes that stuck out to me, so feel free to take a read at those, and that's kind of what we have to share. Do you guys have any questions for us?
When do you get to start this year?
We start on August 29th. Yes, so we're really excited.
Where are you located?
We're located at the Brownstone in downtown South Whitley. It's right by Carroll's Corner. And we have the whole upstairs. It's a really great location. We're really thankful for it. We have ping pong tables. We have a Nintendo Switch. We have different tables for homework. This last year we got a grant, so we were able to get some new couches and some new furniture to freshen it up, and it's been awesome.
And you're looking at trying to reach out to the sixth graders?
Yes, so last year we were able to invite sixth graders, but we had never invited sixth graders before. Previously, it had just been seventh and eighth graders, so we invited them a little later. Last year we started August 31st, and we didn't invite middle schoolers to come try out the program until mid-September. This year we're going to invite them right away. So tomorrow, Sarah and I will actually be going to South Whitley Elementary to do a presentation to all those sixth graders, and we're working on setting one up at Pearson as well. Transportation for Pearson is sometimes a little bit of a struggle, but we did end up having some parents drop their students off from Pearson to attend the program too.
Good.
Sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Ladies, I just want to reiterate to you guys on behalf of the board that your dedication and excitement does not go unnoticed. Sometimes when you're busy doing what you're doing, you think that, but it's not. And I look forward, if it's okay, to coming up and visiting sometime.
Yeah, please.
Love to do that and watch you guys in action up there. But
Yeah.
thank you for your dedication, your excitement, and your hard work. It means a lot to all of us, and especially your students, and we can tell it means a lot to you guys, and that's important.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you're all welcome. Just send me an email. The next slide, my information is on that. So if you have any other questions or you need anything from me, go ahead and send me an email. And then that's our website too, where students can register. If you have any students who's wanting to register, please feel free to send them there. And we'll be at lunches. We'll be around. Obviously, Jada's a student. So if you guys need anything, let us know.
One more question. What are the hours and which days of the week do you operate?
Yeah, Monday through Thursday. We meet right after school. Students usually get there around 3:10, and we go until the shuttle bus at 5:30 is when it picks up at the Brownstone. So, yeah, and we're really thankful for the transportation too. That is half the reason we have as many students as we have. So thank you guys for letting us do that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you guys so much.
We'll move on to the director's reports. Chris Evans.
Good afternoon. I'm Chris Evans. I've been working with TAP and curriculum. One of the things we're looking at this year, I've met with both elementary principals, and they are talking of doing an iRead camp as opposed to waiting till students do not pass iRead in third grade and then doing remediation. They're looking at those who have scored poorly in the testing that comes prior to that, and then setting up this camp after school with certified teachers and transportation so that students are not eliminated by the fact that they cannot get to and from the buildings and their home. There's still more work to be done on that, to work with not only getting the certified teachers, but also getting the transportation. But on the directive from Mr. Pavarnik about aligning the schools, we're making sure that both schools will have the identical program so that we can benefit all the kids and hopefully see those scores from previous years begin to climb, percentage of number of students passing. On the TAP front, we have had a lot of training. Stacy Knope is our person assigned from NIET, the National Institute for Excellent Teaching, and we did an all principals, master teachers, mentors, June 6th, 7th, and 8th, concerning goal setting and making sure we can understand the rubric a little bit better since it has changed for teacher evaluation. I have been in monthly Zoom meetings with the administration for NIET, making sure that the schools stay on track with where they want us to be and where we want to be. The clusters have been aligned as you had done in previous meetings with the late start Mondays. I was informed today that transportation worked out very well for late start Mondays, and all clusters will be contained during that time in the individual buildings. My plan is to rotate through them each Monday and visit those schools so that I can get a good hand on what's happening not only within cluster, but then also be able to report to NIET of our strengths and our needs for more training. I've also established an NIET calendar, so anything that is based in TAP, evaluations, professional development, any type of training has all been sent out to not only the administrators, but also the master teachers. Once I have a complete list of mentors, they will also be included. So that way everybody knows everybody's everything. And so administrators who would like to go to another building to watch leadership meetings have the ability to do that. And then, of course, we all know what's on each other's calendar. So it's an open kind of concept. And as things begin to change, we will continue to add those. So tomorrow, there is actually a training. Field testing as part of looking at what the school's needs are and how to address those. And that is going to be a training tomorrow from 8 to 3. At South Whitley Elementary, and the masters, some administrators will be there, and possibly mentors if they can be freed up for the day. That's all I have. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Shannon Lane.
Good evening, guys. Thank you very much. Pearston, we are up and underway. We are working hard. First of all, I want to welcome Laura Cassidy, Autumn Karatny, Lawson Hahn, and Brooklyn Wilson. They are all new staff members at Pearston Elementary. 2 out of the 4 have either student taught or have ties to Pearston originally as they were developing their skills. Our school leadership team, we've really analyzed the data. Where are we going? Well, we want to improve our reading. And part of that is we have to increase the amount of time and increase the level that our students are reading with small groups and in small group instruction. And we're going to work on that in cluster. So that is a goal, and we will continue to develop that throughout the year. We did have a switch. Tina Rezin, who has been a special education teacher for our 4 through 6 students, will be working as our master teacher. And Dana Clutter, Mr. Kids, and is going back into the classroom. And I can honestly say I know lots of master teachers who have done that same thing. We're working on learner behaviors and just developing that whole school climate within our building. We have PTO meetings every month, the second Wednesday of every month. Our PTO is also sponsoring a fall festival on September 24th from, I think, 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and games, I'm sure food, and lots of fun. So we are excited about that. We're also going to be developing some reading nights for our families, because we know that literacy is the key to unlocking a lot of doors, not just in reading and writing, but also in math. So as that's a need for our school, we're going to continue to support that by having literacy nights throughout the school year. We're working on developing a team for that and figuring out what will best serve our families and our students. Any questions? Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
I have a comment, Mr. Lane.
Uh-oh.
Come on, I'm not like that. I just want to commend you on your leadership with the master teacher and the way Dana, Miss Clutter went back into the classroom, and now we have another master teacher. I think that data has shown and experience has shown that in those positions, I think it's healthy that we have others step up and get the opportunity to take on a leadership role. It just makes our TAP model stronger. And this master teacher may decide that she wants to go back in the classroom in a few years. You know what? Dana may decide she wants to come back. And when you have that rotation going in your building, I think that makes a strong model, because everybody gets hands-on experience. They get leadership experience, and I commend you for leading the way, the pathway on that.
Absolutely. And our teachers, they love our kids. And sometimes you just want to be in the classroom with the kids, that same group of kids all the time. And I totally understand that and respect that. And that's what Dana shared with us, is she just missed those kids. And I totally get it. We've got some awesome kids.
And we have a staff member getting experience in a master teacher role that we could use. So that's great. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Lane. Brian Emmert.
Hello, everyone. Just want to say that the beginning of school year has gone very well. And ours really kind of started last Wednesday evening, our back to school night. We had a very large crowd come through the doors, and which included, which I know they left, was the After School Central ladies working with our sixth grade to get some of our sixth grade participating in that program. We also had the South Whitley Public Library, and our Whitko archery team was there also recruiting. So that was a good night for us. The first week of school, our teachers are really taking the time this first full week to go over procedures, how we do things in the classroom and in the building, from our lunchroom, emergencies, and the hallways. I just really want to thank the staff for taking that time to do that, so they understand what to do when they need to do that. Today was our first cluster meeting, our first Monday morning. Our agenda included, similar to what Mr. Lane talked about, environment, and we are establishing our expectations for cluster. So it was a really good meeting. We are lucky, hopefully after tonight, to have our second mentor teacher begin with us, Krista Booz, and we'll still have Jessica Long as our mentor teacher, and our master teacher is Lindsay Smith, and she did a wonderful job this morning. On the testing side, next Monday opens the first window for the fall NWEA testing. So all students in K through 8 will be doing NWEA testing for reading and math. And that window, I think, is open until September 16th. So we're not rushing it, but we do use that data to kind of help us establish some learning communities within our classrooms. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Emmert.
Thanks,
Mr. Emmert, I just want to know when are you going to prepare something for the board on your Blackstone or your grill?
That was one of the
delicious.
best wedding gifts I've seen, was one of the Blackstone griddle. Yeah.
He just grew from his cell phone to his iPad this year, so.
Okay.
You gotta give him a
Well,
little bit of
he's
time.
very good on that grill.
Thank you. Amy Evans.
Thank you. We are also off to a great year so far. The first day of school, our seniors did a tailgating pancake breakfast. So we brought in some donuts, and they brought some juice and muffins and cinnamon rolls, and one of our seniors grilled pancakes for everybody, which were delicious. But it was really neat just to see that piece of our culture come in, and knowing that we had made some significant changes to our cell phone policy, locker policies and things like that. It was a great way to start the day. It was just neat to see the kids out there having fun and celebrating coming back to school. So that really started it. And then our first day we did a breakout session for each kind of the main areas that we need to do with our structure. So transportation, the WCA, behavior, and things like that, where each grade level rotated around with staff from the junior, senior high school and the academy, just to make sure that everybody was on the same page. The teachers heard what the kids were hearing, and it went really well. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback from moving the middle school upstairs, mostly from the high school students who are very glad not to be interacting with the middle school students as much. And they asked, were we really like that?
Yeah.
Yep. So, but it's just been such a great move. I want to thank you guys for supporting that. And I know the staff appreciated knowing that you guys were behind that also. So thank you. So great. That's all good news. We're looking at our school-wide goal, which really aligns with, I think, the elementaries is reading. And today I was going through classrooms, and for the first time in my administrative career, I walked into Mrs. Fox's classroom, all the classrooms, but I walked into her classroom. Every student in that classroom was reading. There were no cell phones out. There was no side conversations. They were reading. And I could ask them what was going on in the book, and they could tell me. And so that, to me, is just another great start. The teachers promoting reading because we know how important it is. And it kind of goes along with those behavior modifications that we made. And even though students may not realize why we're doing it, they were engaged. And to me, that was just an incredible thing to see. So, again, another piece of good information. We're also working in our cluster time. Today was our first one as well. It went really well in establishing the norms, and probably the best quote I got from the day was, we need to just act like we want our students to act. And that kind of set the tone as the teachers, got on board with that. So a big thanks to our staff, our teachers, for being engaged and really getting behind this. So good news. This summer, I just kind of want to wrap up this summer really fast. One, huge thank you to our custodial staff. Every time I went in there, they were busy doing something that helped kids and helped our building look nice. So the hallways look great, the gym floors look great. It was just nice to see the work that a lot of people don't get to see, but a big thank you to the custodial staff. And finally, and our kids at 4-H, I love seeing that. We were at State this past weekend, and I saw one of our students who's in the life skills classroom showing her heifer, and it was just amazing to see the work that these kids put in. And we're told time after time, if you have that 4-H or FFA background, we'll hire you. And the amount of kids that are at our fairs, their hard work and then being able to show was just really admirable. So that's kind of the wrap up, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Evans.
Mrs. Evans, I just want to commend you too on the 8th grade and seventh and grade, 8th grade in middle school, moving to the second floor. When on the first day of school, I was out to all the buildings, and I had more middle school students come up to me at that time and say how much they love to have in their own area. Yeah. And even at the Athletic Boosters golf outing over the weekend I was at in North Manchester, I had an 8th grade student there come up to me and say, "We love our area, thank you." And I said, "You need to go talk to Mrs. Evans." That was her. And you were, and she was in the high school or somewhere physically moving desks in and out to set that up. So you did a tremendous job with that. Thank you.
Yeah. And again, a big thanks to our staff, especially the ones who had been in rooms for 20 plus years, who were willing to do that. So,
yeah, that
I've
means a lot.
had 2 middle school students I've talked to since school started, and I asked them how's it going, not really asking about the move, and both of them said one of the best things about it was that they have their own area now, so I'm the same thing.
Good.
So the
Thank you for letting us
middle school
know.
kids that I've talked to, which is only 2, but that's something that was important to them that they brought up.
Good, thank you.
Thank you. Chris Benedict?
Good evening, thank you. At the Academy, obviously, the month of August, been hiring a lot of people and trying to get those in. I know you'll see them a little bit later in your board packet of those hires that we've made. Just kind of want to piggyback a little bit from Mrs. Evans with the collaboration, communication between the 2 buildings. We're really committed this year to making sure that our communication, that collaboration, and those procedures are all streamlined and consistent between the 2 buildings. I want to thank her for putting that together, getting those 6 rotations put together. Our staff went up and met with them as well, so our staff was a part of their staff, trying to get both of them to understand we are one. We are one. I know we were in 2 separate campuses, but we are one goal with that.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Nope.
I wanted to hit on that because I want the board to hear this because I forgot to mention it, Amy. I'm sorry when you were up here to ask you this. Would you take a little time, if you would, to elaborate on what you guys did with that rotation on the first day of school? I think that's key to why we got such a smooth start.
Yeah, she put us together in terms of each grade level was in a different area of the building. We started in, there were 6 different things that they kind of went through. Mr. Singray talked about athletics, Mr. Boomball talked about transportation, Mr. Maurer talked about behavior expectations and handbook and discipline procedures. We had technology that we passed out in one segment. We had a segment on the career academy expectations, and then Mrs. Evans talked about cafeteria expectations for all of them. They all rotated. So they had a group of staff from the junior senior high school, and then they had 3 or 4 staff from the WCA. They were all rotating with those kids. Our staff we have a lot of new staff, obviously, so them hearing the same thing from the expectations for our kids were great for the staff to also hear that as well. So again, as they made that rotation through, everybody, we took a 2-hour delay day on that first day. I mean, obviously we were here at 8, but we worked on a 2-hour delay schedule to make sure that we got all that taken care of. And again, I think that just set the tone, set the culture right from the beginning from what our school year is going to be about. And our kids are excited to be back in. They're excited about the opportunities at both buildings. And I think they are seeing the collaboration between both buildings and the teachers and staff between both buildings, and the expectation level will be the same in each place. And I think from that standpoint, it helped us get off to a really good start, and extremely excited about that, and appreciate Mrs. Evans for putting that together for us. From the academy standpoint, again, a lot of our kids are in these first couple of days we're focusing obviously hard on the employability skills. That's going to be a skill set that all our kids come to the academy that will need, as well as at the beginning here is a lot of safety training. They're all in lab experiences, they're all in hands-on experiences. It's not your traditional sit in a classroom and sit still for an hour or 2 hours. They're up, they're moving, they're doing a lot of different things. So those safety trainings that they go through is huge in the first couple of weeks to just, again, kind of set that tone of what the expectations are. So that's kind of what we're focusing on. Again, we had our cluster day today as well. This has been a tremendous job of getting those norms set up and getting our staff understanding what that should look like. And again, our big focus with our staff is making them understand that it is a hour a week, every single day, for you to collaborate with other people that are in the profession to talk about student successes, talk about what's working in your classroom, what things can you do, how can we bounce ideas off of. We don't have to reinvent the wheel for everything. If someone's doing a really good job and this works really well, maybe that could work in your area as well. So trying to just bounce ideas off of each other and letting them understand that we're all here for each other. They all went into education for a reason. They love kids and they want to impact the lives of kids. And that's why they go into education. Keep that to the forefront of why you're doing what you're doing, and all the other stuff will kind of fall into place, so to speak. So flipping hats a little bit here from the alternative standpoint, we have 14 kids in the morning session. We have 6 kids right now in the afternoon session. Again, getting those lined up with Apex and getting them ready for their graduation requirements. Apex kids that were probably by the end of the week before I get all of those classes set up and all those kids enrolled that just need a class for credit recovery. So I hope to have that done by the 19th. Most of them are in. We just have some kind of stragglers that I got to kind of get to and get them kind of enrolled and get that taken care of. The last thing I kind of want to touch on, we currently right now have 18 students that are either homeschool, virtual kids, or just attending the academy, something along those lines to where they've made a decision to come back to be a full-time student, or they've made a commitment to come back to just take part in either classes at the high school, whether that's a related arts course, a choir course, whatever, or they've made a decision to just come to the Career Academy for a particular program. All of those kind of things are exciting because the word is out and people are starting to make Whitko a school of choice, and Whitko School Corporation a school of choice. So, again, we're excited about that number, and I think that's going to just continue to grow with the programming that we have and the way the two buildings are collaborating together. That's all I got.
I think that's great that the rotations happen. Thank you, Mrs. Evans, for that. I think it's good that, I don't know if we've ever done that before, where you set the boundaries on the first day, this is how it's going to be, and they know it's expected. I think that's great.
Yep. Everybody did a great job in those breakout sessions. Every kid kind of knew exactly kind of what was going on, and it was really good from that standpoint of just getting their year off to the right start, and they know right off the bat what those expectations are.
And you have some positions to fill, and like the others, you did a terrific job with that, and not only did you get it done, but you got quality candidates too. So we really appreciate that,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Benedict.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Benedict. Allison Kellogg?
Good evening. First of all, I just want to address that it has now been over a year as your Director of Special Services, and it's been a wonderful challenge, a lot of growth, a lot of developing our special education program, and a lot of getting to know our students and staff. So I just want to thank you guys for that opportunity, and I just look forward to where we're going to go from here. It's just a really exciting time. As you'll see on our docket, we have hired Alexa Dolby to be in our room for students with emotional disabilities at South Whitley. That was a position that remained open. We had some wonderful people that covered that class, but now we have a licensed teacher in that classroom working with our students. She has phenomenal experience working with students with disabilities, and she's already doing a great job. We've also hired Lisa House in that room to be our instructional assistant, and they're working really well together. We've hired Delise Krosky to be our instructional assistant in Mrs. Overmeyer's classroom at South Whitley. As Shannon addressed, our department is very sad to see Tina Resin go. She's a wonderful person, and she did a phenomenal job with our special education program. But we're really excited for her to see her use that expertise as a master teacher. And in that role, she'll be able to mentor our new special ed teacher, Brooklyn Wilson. So we know that that room is in good hands. We're just really excited, and that change was effective like June and July. And then I do want to address that speech and language services are still a top priority for our program. I know a lot of people have questions about that. I spent the entire summer speaking with companies, with contractors, individuals, and I've made several contacts. I'm in current discussion with an individual that would possibly be in person, offering in-person services to a portion of our students, and we're trying to navigate what that looks like, possibly her working with younger students that don't do really well with virtual services. But most likely we will have to have another portion of our students with virtual services. COVID just changed education as we knew it, and it's really, really hard to find in-person SLPs, although every time I hear a whisper of someone who knows someone that's an SLP, I jump right on it. But so I'm looking at 2 resumes right now for potential virtual SLPs that would be providing services to the other portion of our students. And so as soon as those positions work out, you guys will be the first to know. But in the meantime, we do have our current SLP, and we have outlined an action plan that will effectively provide services to our students to make sure that our students are receiving the services that they require, and that no one's falling behind. That's a big priority with us, and I provided that action plan for you guys so you could see what that looks like. She will be in our district for a portion of the week, providing in-person services for some of our students. As far as grants, I have completed several grants. Our pre-application for our title grants has been completed, and now I'm just doing the required revisions for that. Our formative assessment grant has been accepted, and that purchases our NWEA programming. And the IDOE released a requirement this year that each school had to provide a dyslexia screener. And we had extra funds, and NWEA actually provides a dyslexia screener, and so we just went ahead and purchased that with the extra funds that we had, so that's covered. Our early intervention grant was approved, and our NESP grant, which is for our English learner students, was completed today. And so more grants will be covered over the next month or so.
Thank you.
Thank you for your continued diligence on the SLP issue.
Yes. Yeah.
Barry Singray?
Good evening, and thank you for having me here tonight to speak on behalf of Whitko Athletics. To start, I want to give a few facility updates. Our gym floor project was completed. Last week we had our volleyball scrimmage, and it really looked great. Got a lot of compliments, made some social media posts, and I think there's a lot of excitement around our facility updates going on, but it was really nice to get one finished and to have our athletes out there displayed in a great facility. Our tennis court project is starting to come along. We have a fenced-in spectator area. We decided to go with a new color scheme, blue and gray courts. Getting a lot of excitement from that too. I'm not a tennis person personally, but I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to see our student athletes out there on a great new court, and that should be done by the end of this week. I'm also adding in some new Whitko tennis signs. That way they can truly have their own facility and be proud of that. The track project, they will begin coating and striping this week. They dropped the materials off today. We look forward to having that project completed hopefully in the next couple of weeks as well. Some coaching and program updates. July was a very important month for me as the new athletic director. During July, I was able to meet with each coach individually, discuss where their programs are at, what their needs are, and what things are going to look like moving forward. We also had our annual all coaches meeting on July 28th, and again, just went over athletic expectations and procedures. July also gave me the opportunity to sort of evaluate not just our programs and coaches, but also our facilities. Jim Bumball was very helpful and helped me get around and check out our facilities and come up with some nice ways of sort of cleaning some things up and making things a little more exciting, I guess. Athletic schedules, our fall schedules are set. All schedules can be found on the athletics page. Event link is linked directly to the athletics page. Anytime there's a cancellation or a change, it automatically updates. So event link is something that we will continue to share with our parents and community members. It can be downloaded in an app. And then again, anytime a change is made, they'll automatically get that update and a notification as well. So these new technology items, we want to continue to share with the community and make it more accessible. Fall sports are underway. Girls golf had their first match last week. Volleyball and football both had their scrimmages last week and will have their first official games Thursday and Friday this week. Boys tennis will be at Northrop tomorrow night, and boys and girls cross country's first event is this weekend at Rochester. So good luck to them. Looking forward to seeing the teams in action. And just with the start of school, the back to school night, that was very exciting, seeing all the families and parents participating, and that gave me a good hope and just getting the participation up across the board when you see people that eager to be involved. I was very excited about that. And just to see our athletes back in action and back in the school building has been a lot of fun. Some items that are new to Whitko. Whitko Athletics has updated their vision and mission statements, and those will be added to the website. Really working on alignment across the board in athletics, whether that's our expectations, what we provide for athletes, but also our terminology and what we expect. So hoping that the mission and vision is something that our coaches adopt and promote throughout their programs and continue to build the Whitko community and pride. Final Forms is an athletic compliance platform that was adopted by Whitko Athletics last spring. I was able to, with the help of Jason Klein, get that information out to all of our incoming 7th through 12th grade families. And we currently have 160 athletes registered under Final Forms. It's a very effective tool for collecting and distributing information. And right now, we're sort of at the beginner stage, but I plan on getting our coaches trained so that way they can utilize the tools, whether it's having emergency contact information accessible and on hand at all times, or communicating effectively with their teams and families. There's a lot of different things that can be done through that platform, and I'm really excited that we're off to such a great start with that. I'd also like to recognize the Booster Club tonight. I had the pleasure of meeting with Jennifer Ebbinghaus early on after I took the position. We've already worked together successfully on a couple items that we needed to update for athletics. And then I would especially like to just thank them for the great job that they did at the golf outing. Again, I was very excited about the participation across the board and the community support. And they just did a great job putting all that together. So really want to recognize them and thank them. And I look forward to continuing to work with them as we move forward to make athletic updates. Other items moving forward, as I met with coaches, athletic storage, everybody had storage complaints. And, some rightfully so, but others, I think we just need to sort of clean house a little bit and reorganize. So this fall, we're going to kind of do not our spring cleaning, but our fall cleaning, and go through some of our storage spaces and really maybe go back and find the items that we don't necessarily need anymore and get rid of those and reorganize. Also, Whitko branding. I'm from a community that's unique in that it has multiple towns. I think this community is unique in that way as well, where we have multiple towns all under the same school community. And one of my goals is to begin embedding our Whitko athletic branding throughout all of the towns that we represent as a school district. And I want our kids to be proud of being Whitko athletes, and I want them to see that pride in their towns, whether they're passing through or going home. Athletic facility schedules. Currently, we have facility schedules. Some are on Google, some are on EventLink. This fall, we will be moving everything to EventLink, and I will share that information with our administrators and school secretaries. That way, it's easily accessible. But again, just how convenient it is to get updates and see everything on one location is very important moving forward. Feeder programs, one of the biggest things I stressed to our coaches was increasing what we offer to our youth. And the expectation moving forward is for each varsity coach to provide 2 feeder program opportunities a year. And I'm very excited about that. I want to see our K to 8th grade students on campus all the time with their families participating in athletic events. And this year, I've encouraged coaches to begin putting their plans together. Some coaches maybe already offer that. Some coaches might just have to tweak a couple things. Other coaches might have to adjust quite a bit. But this year is their time to adjust and maybe reimagine what they would like to do for their feeder programs. And we're looking forward to kicking that off next summer with multiple sports camps being offered throughout the month of June. So that'll be a great sort of kickoff to a new rebirth of our feeder programs. And then lastly, fundraising will be something that we begin focusing more on as an athletic department. I've started a sponsorship program. I think that we need to sort of create a new economic model for our athletics. My goal is to hopefully be able to raise enough money so we can get our uniforms back onto a regular rotation. I think we fell off that rotation, and it's going to be very important for us to get back on there. And if we're able to raise that money, then we can kind of go forward and use the money that we make in gates and concessions to continue to maybe provide newer equipment or other items that are needed throughout our athletic programs. So excited for what we've accomplished in the last 6 weeks, and excited that kids are back on campus, and really looking forward to some of the changes and the work we have ahead of us. So, any questions?
I just appreciate you've hit the ground running as AD, so we thank you for that.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else?
I do. I just want to, Mr. Singre's been very humble earlier on in your report because he did. In fact, I was going to say thank you for hitting the ground running, but you stole my thunder, Mrs. Arnold, and that's okay. But he came in, looked at the plans for all the construction, inherited that, and then completely trashed and changed the color scheme of the tennis courts on his own. And it's just awesome the way it came out. And I commend you for doing that and for raising the bar in that immediately. So thank you very much for that. Good job.
Yep, thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim Bumba?
Good evening. I'd just like to piggyback off of Mr. Singray. He's been outstanding to work alongside of during this track and tennis court and gymnasium project. He just came in and, like you said, he took the bull by the horns, and has been a pleasure to work with. So I appreciate all his hard work that he's putting into the program. 3 years ago, I was here. It was my first report as transportation director. I was very stressful. 3 years later, I stand here. It's just as stressful this year as it was 3 years ago. It really takes a team effort to get everything back in place, transportation-wise. And I've said it before. I think people think that we throw bus drivers a set of keys and they go out and pick students up and get them to school and back. There's a lot more that goes into that. I just want to personally thank the transportation team, who's got hundreds of years of experience with Whitko. And if it wasn't for the commitment of our transportation team, this wouldn't go down the way it did. And I think most administrators, most of the staff here can attest to the fact that the first few days of school have went tremendously smooth. So I would like to give a hats off to all the transportation team for that. The buildings and grounds, Mrs. Evans touched on that. We've been extremely short-staffed for several months now, and the way the buildings and the grounds looked, even short-staffed, really looking good. We've got one in particular that loves to get outside and weed and get the outside areas looking good. And it's been noticed. People notice that, and that's what we like to do. Is we like to market our buildings, and when people see that looking the way it does, hats off to the maintenance personnel and custodians that have really stepped up and filled in on short staffing. So I appreciate that. We had a driver shortage last year. We have one again this year. We had a driver who retired at the end of the school year. We've absorbed those students into other buses, and I know it was just a week or so ago that I recommended that we expand the walking area in town Pearston. I appreciate your support in doing that. That's not something that I wanted to do, but based on the current student ridership on the buses, the length of time that the students were riding the bus, I just felt that was the best option. I have been personally out monitoring that crosswalk in Pearston on Thursday and Friday. Emily Powell's the crossing guard that we hired. She's out there. There was about a dozen students, I think, Thursday and Friday that utilized the crossing there. Very safe. I've walked, not walked, but I've driven the areas that we've expanded. It's a very safe area. I did notice an Indiana State Trooper that was out patrolling the area on Friday and was actually stopping vehicles, so there is an enhanced law enforcement presence there. I will be in contact with the town to ensure that the snow removal is kept up, and I will check that periodically. If there's something we can do to get that back to where we can be able to transport, but right now, I think this is the best solution. I will keep an eye on that and make sure that things are safe for our students. The EPA grant for the electric buses, hopefully that I will complete that by this week. The deadline is Friday, and I hope to have that submitted. That's 2 electric school buses. I've talked to McAllister and Curlin's both on the school buses are somewhere in the range of $375,000, and the grant pays for a big chunk of that. So the school will have to pay a portion of that, but we would have to pay that for a regular school bus. The fiscal year school safety and security grant was submitted by June 30th, like the deadline was. I'm awaiting approval of the fiscal year 23 award. That should be coming in anytime, but I'm hopeful that will be approved as well. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim, for everything you've done.
Mr. Bumbaugh, I'm sorry to be such a windbag tonight, you guys, but when I walked around, Mr. Evans and I walked around the first day and visited all the buildings, and every building I went in, at least 2 teachers, unannounced, came up and talked to me when we talked to them, and every one of them commented on the cleanliness of the buildings this year and how impressed they were. And so last year when I started here, that was an issue that we were asked to look at. And I just want to commend you on that because you reorganized that, you split that department up a little bit, and I think that shows in the grounds and the condition they're in. So thank you, and pass that along to your staff.
Thank you.
Jason Klein?
Good evening. Busy summer for the technology department, which is no surprise. We've implemented a new notification system that for contacting parents, students, and staff. We're in the process of getting authorized staff trained in how to use it. Some of you have probably noticed the different voice calling, and we are still getting a handle on that, but I think we've got a pretty good start. Devices rollout went fairly well this year. Most students got their device on the first day of school, and newly registering students are getting their device within 24 hours of their first day of school. Staff and student IDs are being printed and delivered over the course of the next few days. We've got some of the staff IDs out. We're working on high school first, and then we're going to be moving on to the elementary for students. You all have a ID badge on your desk for whenever you visit the buildings. Our new digital arts lab at the high school for junior high is up and functioning and should give our art students the tools they need to be creative for the next several years. Very happy with how that turned out. It looks great, and I think they're really going to do well with it. Our tech intern this year is Blake Schroeder. He will be learning IT support and assisting faculty and staff at the high school, and as well as helping students. And lastly, we're working on I'm calling it a digital signage and alert clients. It's an update for our bells system and our announcement system, and it's going to be a little while in the works, but it is kind of building off of something that we've already started, and I will try to have some more information for that in the near future. Right now, it's just in the building stage. Any questions?
Thank you for the screen up here.
Is that position okay?
It's a little low can you see it, Lynn?
Put it on a table or something?
Yeah, I think we'll either move it up. I wasn't sure if I could put it in the center here, if it would block the view or anything.
Yeah.
So
Over there is fine, just raise it up.
Sure can.
Thank you.
All righty. Thank you much.
Thank you. And finally, Jamie Payno.
Hello. So we have had a successful start to the year. We had our open house on Wednesday of last week, and most of the families came out to meet our teachers. We are excited to have Riley Heel. She's had a lot of years' experience teaching preschool. She's our new lead preschool teacher. And we also have some work-based learning students who are pursuing education who are working with us this year. We are excited to be offering free before and after school care to all Whitko employees. And this includes late start Mondays, so teachers can drop their kiddos off to us, and the transportation department will take the kiddos to South Whitley and Purceton. And then also the transportation will bring kiddos to our center for after-school care, and we're open until 5, so that helps out those teachers that are also coaches. We've also partnered with South Whitley Library. They'll be coming in on Tuesdays to read to our kids and hopefully get them signed up with library cards. We have 43 current enrollments. We're still accepting preschool enrollments, and we will be expanding in the future. I am waiting to hear back about an expansion grant, and I should know more about that this month. Any questions?
Thank you so much. It's exciting to see it growing the way it is.
Thank you.
I was so happy that you allowed kids to come to our Purceton Library.
Oh, yeah.
Friends on Thursdays.
Yeah, they loved that.
It was great to see them. They came in, they were so good, and your helpers were wonderful.
Oh, good. That's great to hear. Thank you.
Jamie, welcome to the board meetings. She
Thank
starts from
you.
this year. We wanted, she's part of Whitko, and it dawned on us that she wasn't here as a director to give reports. And, we love little cats. We love what you do.
Thank you.
And it's exciting for us to hear you report every month and hear what you're doing. We got new playgrounds and stuff going in that you're going to update on. And again, I want to thank you for acknowledging some special rates for our staff and teachers to help them with the before and after care. That means a lot to them, so thank you.
Absolutely. And if you see on the handout, these are the actual playground renderings that will be started this fall, hopefully. So, yeah.
That's nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll be moving on to the superintendent update.
I will keep mine brief in matter of time. I think we've all heard I was going to talk about our strong start, and I think we heard about that. We did have a very strong start. And I'll just reiterate that when we walked around to all the buildings on the first day, it was a lot different than last year. And it was as if school had been going on for a while. Everybody was in sync, and students were walking around. Everybody was happy with smiles on their faces and good to be back. And students were happy, and everything just looked like they'd been here, not like it was day one. I enjoyed the golf outing over the weekend. That was a very well put on event. Mr. Worcester, thank you for taking me around in the golf cart and introducing me to people there. That was a lot of fun. We did get an update today, just before the meeting, from Greenhouse Mega Store about our greenhouse. According to them, they'll be here Thursday or Friday to start construction on that. So our fingers crossed on that. And I know Mr. Benedict's like, fingers crossed. Mr. Benedict mentioned the 18 homeschool students. As I mentioned in my superintendent's report to the board on Friday, that we're working on a program for the homeschoolers to become their LEA, which is local education administrators, where we can do something to provide education for the homeschoolers. There is some criteria which we'll spell out to meet on that. You must be homeschooled. You could not, and you had to be homeschooled last year. You cannot be brick and mortar last year and go do that. So more on that's going to be coming along as well, to reach out to our homeschool community to help them along and allow them to also be involved in our clubs at school and athletics. And lastly, we are working with a billboard company for billboards around our counties promoting Whitko. And it's interesting that Mr. Benedict used one of our, I don't know if you knew it or not, but make Whitko your school of choice. So we're going to play around the election things because we're fighting candidates now for board space. So we got some, we're going to start, and Katie Brown's working with us on the print and the billboard company. So we're pretty excited about that.
Thank you, Mr. Pavarnik.
We have no public comments this evening, so we'll move on to the business reports and consent agenda. We need a motion to accept the meeting minutes from July 13th, the work session, and July 18th, the regular meeting.
I move that we accept the reports from July 13th and July 18th meetings.
I second it. It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the minutes from the July 13th and July 18th meetings. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion passes. Moving on to 6.2, accounts payable and receivable. These are payroll claims, regular claims, voided checks and transfers, etc. Actually, this is the whole thing. This whole portion is 6.3 with the financial report, 6.4 extracurricular, and 6.5 personnel. There's extensive list on all of that. We're going to just combine it all and do one motion, call that business reports and consent agenda. Can I get a motion on that whole combination, please?
I move we accept all the financial reports and the consent agenda as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept all business reports and consent agenda as written. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? And the motion passes. Moving on to new business, 7.0. We have an updated driver's education fees for this program. It's been recommended that the fees for Whitko students increase to $275, and non-district students are $300 for the classroom and the driving portion of the driver's education course. Fees would increase to $225 for Whitko students and $250 for non-district students that are taking the driving portion only. It's been some time since we've had a fee increase, and with gas prices and everything, it was time to do that. So can I get a motion regarding that driver's education fee increase?
I make a motion that we accept the new changes that were presented to us.
I second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the new driver's education fees. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed? The motion passes. We have administrative stipends that we have discussed in several meetings now between the board. And Mr. Pavarnik, would you just kind of touch on that real briefly as to what that involves?
We, through bargaining, ratified our 2-year contract. And normally when those kind of things happen, administrators get the same incentive, the same pay raises by levels that teachers get when they go out. And so our administrators did not get that this past rotation. So this fixes that and brings them into the fold and makes that right. And then the stipend is an appreciation stipend, like a bonus program based on their job performance. And I think we all saw the strength of our administrators, the quality of them here that are here tonight, and how hard they're working. And this can be looked at as a retention and or a program that can draw in good administrators when openings come up. So I would urge the board to respect our administrators and their hard work and pass this motion tonight.
All right, can I get in motion to accept the administrative stipends as presented?
I make a motion to approve the administrative stipends and annual evaluation pay increases for Whitko administrators.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the administrative stipend and annual evaluation pay increases for the Whitko administrators as presented. Do we have any discussion?
I would just reiterate my concern that a $5,000 bonus is a lot. And while I agree with the bonus, I don't know that $5,000 is the number that we should be reaching.
And let it be noted that isn't for every administrator. It's based off the days that they are
It's based on their contract. Yes, that's the maximum.
Okay. Any other comment, questions?
I got a comment. I think we've got some outstanding administrators. I'm just not a fan of stipends. I have no problem with putting that at the top, increasing the salaries, and paying the salary. I have no problem with paying our administrators more than any other school corporation around us, but I'm just not a stipend fan. I'm not a fan of bonuses, and that's a personal opinion of mine. I'd be in favor of raising the salaries, but not in favor of stipends.
Is there any other comments or questions?
I think it also hurts our administrators a little bit because retirement is based on your top 5 years of earnings, and this wouldn't be part of that also. So I think it's to their detriment, actually, to have a...
No, it would factor into their earnings. It would factor into their overall earnings. And it's the package, the total package, that's based on the salary, so we could give an administrator a healthy raise, and another district could offer them a salary with a higher package, and the whole package is what matters. It's just like my package. Someone looked at me, and it's all public, they would think he makes $155,000 a year. I don't. My package is worth that. My salary's not that. So if you gave me a salary of $155,000, which I would be happy to take, but another district offered me a job at $155,000 plus a package, they're worth $175,000, I'm going to go. Well, I'm not, but I'm just saying, that's the comparison there.
I look at this as an incentive to keep the great administrators we have, and if we have any that happen to leave for whatever reason, it's an incentive to bring new people in, so good people. That's how I look at it.
I get concerned that if we raise their base salary, then they do leave. It's going to be hard to go backwards to hire someone else. I think it's more difficult. I like the fact that the stipend can be bonus or not bonus, depending on how the school district's going and doing, and also on performance. Just my opinion.
Our teachers get a $500 bonus for performance, and this is a $5,000 bonus. That's a huge difference.
It's in lieu of a health insurance package, which would cost $13,000. So I think it's a bargain it's a good deal all the way around for the administrators in our district.
Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote on this. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed?
No.
Nay.
The motion passes 3-2. We have a 5-year strategic plan that we have worked on since last spring. We've worked on this several months. It is up tonight for vote to accept. It includes a mission statement, vision statements, core values and beliefs, priorities for the next 5 years. And assuming that this passes tonight, you'll be able to find all that on our website very shortly, and encourage everyone to look at that and just, it's what we want to see. It's how we feel.
This was tied to the survey that went out as well.
Exactly.
So everybody saw that.
Exactly. So can I get a motion to approve our 5-year strategic plan, please?
I make a motion we accept the vision and mission statements as presented.
I second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve our 5-year strategic plan, vision, and mission statements as accepted. Is there any discussion?
I just want to say that I think this is great, and I think that it ties in well with the building evaluations that we've done. It gives us a roadmap on where we need to go and how we're going to get there, and I really appreciate anybody that filled out the survey, and whether that was teachers, administrators, and some students, just people in the community. That was really nice to see that we had some feedback that helps us.
Is there anything else? All right. We'll go ahead and proceed to vote. All those in favor of accepting the 5-year strategic plans, vision, and mission statements as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And those opposed? The motion passes, and I encourage everyone to jump on our brand-new website here very shortly, and all those will be on there. And we're going to make sure that that's visible throughout all our buildings and on our grounds as well.
Exciting to see that come to life when we
Yes.
started with that.
It's been quite a process. Okay, so we have 7.4, the approval of teacher appreciation grants. These are paid in December in accordance with School Board Policy 3220.01. Could I get a motion to approve that, please?
I move that we approve the teacher appreciation grant to be paid in December.
I second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the teacher appreciation grants being paid in December. Is there any discussion on that? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion passes. 7.5 is the approval of Resolution 01-08-2022 that identifies certain non-certified employees. And that is some paperwork that we received and have gone over as a board. Can I get a motion to accept that, please?
I move we accept the approval of Resolution 01-08-15-2022, identifying certain non-certified employees.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve this resolution identifying certain non-certified employees. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed? Motion passes. 7.6 is the approval of the 2022-23 Administrator Handbook. Can I get a motion for that, please?
I move we approve the 22-23 Administrative Handbook.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the 2022-23 Administrator Handbook. Is there any discussion? And seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed? The motion passes. 7.7 is the approval of the 2022 meetings. We've decided that we're going to move the regular monthly meetings to the WCA lecture room due to being able to broadcast those. It doesn't work out so well in the other buildings, so we're going to do it here. And our work sessions will be moved then to the surrounding buildings, starting with the junior, senior high in September, the Pearson Elementary in October, and Southwood Elementary in November. And those public work sessions are the second Wednesday of the month, and they do start at 4 p.m., and we do encourage the public to attend those if they can. Can I get a motion to approve the moving of the regular monthly meetings and the work sessions?
I move that we approve moving the 2022 meetings as presented.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve moving the 2022 meetings as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion passes. 7.8 is the approval of the assistant to the athletic director / alternative school supervisor job description. And I'm going to ask Mr. Pavarnik just to give a brief little overview on that.
Yeah, this is a position that we had a couple of staff members leave, so we use those to create a position that can be an assistant to the AD, that can help with posting stuff, help with the middle school athletics, can help with supervision, help with contracts, middle school contracts, and some of the sixth grade stuff. And it can also serve as a very good feeder ground for the right candidate should Mr. Singri decide to move on someday. We hope he doesn't, but in that case, we could have somebody there that has been trained by our AD that could possibly move up into that position if that were to happen. This at this point would be a non-certified position that would be posted to assume that position. And because we took one part-time and one full-time position and combined it, it doesn't cost the corporation any new money. It's just a reallocation of funds, if you will.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve the assistant to the athletic director / alternative school supervisor job description?
I move we approve the assistant to the athletic director, alternative school supervisor job description.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve this new position. Is there any discussion?
I just want to say that I'm notorious for answering emails late at night or sending them out, and I'll send Mr. Singray an email at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and he'll either respond or call me, and normally he's still here, so I think some help might help. I appreciate your hard work, so.
All right. right, is there any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of accepting this new job description for this new position, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed? The motion passes. 7.9 is the approval of the updated cell phone allowance list. Can I get a motion for that, please?
I move we approve the updated cell phone allowance list.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the updated cell phone allowance list. Is there any discussion on that? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion passes. 7.10 is the approval of the summer pay stipend for Jamie Pano. Can I get a motion for that, please?
I move that we approve the summer pay stipend for Jamie Pano.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the summer pay stipend for Jamie Pano. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, motion passes.
I will just a brief remark on that. I appreciate all the work that Jamie does over the summer. We did change her contract, which you approved for moving forward, to added days to it, so she gets proper stipend, proper compensation throughout the year on that. So she shouldn't have to go through all this every year.
All right, moving on to 7.11, we have several field trips already listed. And it's an extensive list. We won't go through it all. I just need a motion to accept those, please.
I move that we approve the field trips as presented.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the field trips as presented. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion passes. Old business, we have the approval of Neola Policies, Volume 34, Number 2, April 2022 and May of 2021. Special updates to our non-discrimination and anti-harassment policies for the second and final reading. Could I get a motion for that, please?
I'll approve the NAOE policies, volume 34, number 2, April 2022 and May 2021, special updates to our non-discrimination and anti-harassment policies for the second and final reading.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve these Neola policies as listed. Can we get any discussion? Is there any discussion? None. We'll go ahead and proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, the motion passes. Miscellaneous administrative items, Mr. Pivarnik.
Just that, as you just voted, just to reiterate, we're going to have all our board meetings will be here, and we're moving our work sessions around, which will be posted. But after work sessions, beginning with the next one, my superintendent coffee and cookies with the staff and community will continue. And they'll resume, and they'll start right after the work session. I'll be there for anybody in the community for each one of those that wants to come by and visit with me, have some coffee, some cookies, and talk about school issues. Are there any questions they have? So those will resume after the next work session.
Is there anything else? No? Okay, thank you. Miscellaneous school board items. We have a work session planned for Wednesday, September 14th, 2022, and that is at 4 o'clock. That's at the Junior Senior High School auditorium. The next regular board meeting is Monday, September 19th, 2022 at 6:30 right here in the Career Academy lecture room. Can I get a motion for adjournment, please?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn tonight's meeting. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for being here tonight.